Hey, welcome back to the homestead. We're out here in the 20 tree orchard right now. We just had a nice storm roll through. Really kind of the first real rainy storm of the winter season here, so that was great. Everything's really saturated, got a lot of water. So I did do a little bit of pruning out here in the orchard before the storm hit. Because there's a couple that are frail and I didn't want them to get knocked over in the wind, because one already did get knocked over a little while ago. So I did a bit of pruning, and then I did some more thinking and posting some pictures online and getting some input. Decided I need to do some more pruning. So I've been deciding how to show that to you guys because there's 20 of them. I don't want to do an hour-long video. So I'm probably just going to go through real quick and make some cuts and kind of show you guys what I'm cutting. Just so you guys can see, you know, what it looks like to trim or to prune a first year or no second year, because you know it's 1 year old now, so we're into the second year orchard. But you know, I'm not the expert here, so I wanted you guys to see what it looks like when an amateur goes at it, and you know, see what my cuts look like and the trees are going to look like afterwards. So some of them don't need to be touched at all, some of them do. I'm just going to go through and show you a few of them that do, and then probably just do a quick walkthrough after. But anyways, we're going to go in and get into it. But remember, the important thing is getting hands-on, learning, getting experience. And you know, if you do a bad job pruning, it's not the end of the world. The plant's still going to end up producing fruit for you, and it'll be something to learn from. So let's get started. So we're sitting here at a peach tree. I already did take a little bit off of this. And I'm going to take a little more off because it has just a weird shape, and see, this is growing vertical up, so I just want to shape this one real quick. Really important, wipe your clippers down between each one. So I just wipe these down with alcohol and a rag. You can spread disease and parasites that way. I'll show you later why there's actually a parasite in this orchard right now. But I'm going to take this back right here and encourage these other branches to grow outward and away. So we're going to go right here at an angle. That'll get some growth out that way. We're going to take this back to here, right above an outward facing bud. That'll face out that way, hopefully. And we're going to take this one back. Let's see. I think we're going to go to about here. Let's see. Get rid of that center, actually, so we're going to there. And yeah, that's it for this one. So just making the cuts to train it, teach it where to go. Okay, so here we are at the next peach tree, and this is gonna seem extreme to some of you, but I haven't hardly taken anything off. So when I did some initial trimming before this rainstorm came, I left everything at the base so I know what I've taken off each one. This is gonna seem extreme here, but this is a weird tree because it does have kind of a central leader here, and then it's branching off, so it has like two kind of crotches or goblets. So I'm going to take it off here and let this branch up, and it will recover, and you'll have a nice open center, and this will go up and it'll stay manageable because it's already pretty tall. It's going to get a lot taller, so we want it to be manageable. So this might seem extreme, but you can't be scared to make these cuts. So there we go. Took the whole top off. And you know what? If this turns out to be wrong and doesn't work, I can just replace the tree and it'll be a lesson learned. But I think this is going to be great because now this is going to come out. It's got a nice open center. And this hopefully will take off. There's a bud there. And it'll get a nice open center and a healthy tree there. So I think that's all I'm going to do on that one. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, so here's another peach tree, and I've already done a little bit on it, but not too much. So I love the open center on this one. So I'm just going to take away some stuff that's getting in the way. This is crossing over, so I'm going to just get rid of that. Just going to take that out. And I'm going to take this little guy off. No need for that. I'm going to take this off right to here, this outward facing bud here. Just like that. That was a not good cut. All right, that's gonna call this one good. All right, so this is the last of the peach trees, and I'm giving you a couple angles so you can see why I'm gonna do what I'm doing. But there's basically like a center leader and then branches below it, and then a crotch kind of at the top like a goblet. So this is the in between. So we're just gonna shape it up and take it down. You'll see what I'm about to do. All right, so I've really pondered this and I've decided it's the right thing to do. Done a lot of research, asking around, etc. What to do with this tree. It's already getting kind of tall, it's going up. We want it to be wider more. We want it to have goblet down here and branch out with width, not going up, which it is. I mean, some of these are going almost vertical. So I'm gonna take off this whole top of the tree. Right now, we have this kind of goblet here, but we have this lower stuff. If I can cut all this stuff off, then we've got our goblet here. It's just higher. I'd rather start it lower and then have it come up and out. So I'm gonna cut it off right here, and that gives a chance for this bud here to come out that way. Hopefully that'll get growth off there, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got one coming off each angle. It's hopefully gonna work out great. Here we go. There's nothing to it but to do it. There she goes. If it turns out it doesn't work, I get another tree. That's what's cool about having a 20 tree orchard. If something goes wrong on one, you've got others. We're able to catch the swale in action real quick. So that's laundry going off and it's coming out. I've got it filtering into the swale because everything's saturated because we just rained. So you can kind of see how this works. Oops. It's kind of cool. That comes out of there. This is, you know, the bypass. We don't want it to go to individual trees and plants because everything just got 3 days of rain. So it's going into the swale and then it'll filter in to the berm, and all the soil down here in the orchard will be saturated and hydrated. So just wanted to show that really quick since that just coincidentally just went off as I'm moving from tree to tree. All right, so now we're on to the apricots. Like I said, I already did some on some of these, not a whole lot. I've just been taking my time really thinking about how I want to do this. It is very important in the first couple years how to set the shape on trees, because later it's kind of hard to go back and undo that. But yeah, I already did some on this. Going to do a little more. Take this back, it's grown into the middle of the tree. And this one is growing across over towards kind of this area. So I think I'll just get rid of that. And let's see. This is growing up into the middle of the tree. I'm just going to get rid of that. This is kind of growing away, kind of across, so is this. So I think I'll take this out altogether. Plus it's close to another branch. And then this, I want to get it to grow this way. So I'm going to cut back to a bud facing this way. So cut it right here. And I think we'll remove this completely. Maybe we'll leave that alone for now, even though it's growing vertical. Just kind of see what happens with it. All right, I don't want to overdo it on this one, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Take this little dinky thing off. We're gonna call that good for now. Here's the next apricot. These have been a little tricky for me because these ones, I don't know if it's based on where they're positioned or what, having a tendency to grow up and like towards the sun. But yeah, this is coming up in kind of in a weird way, so I'm gonna take this back. And you know, always do your reading and your research. You want to take different trees to different lengths. You know, some people don't talk about that in these videos, and you know, I've learned a lot from just watching videos on YouTube and also reading. But you want your main branches off the center to be about 30 inches. So I'm going to come here and pick one bud facing out this way. Let's go to here. And then yeah, this is growing vertical in a way, so I don't really like that. So I'm gonna, even though it's not the right length, I'm just gonna cut it to here and get a bud going that way. That. All right, just gonna call that good. Don't want to overdo it. Yeah, this one I put a lot of thought into about this branch because it's kind of going vertical, and you can tell it's like straight up, it's not out. So I'm gonna take this back to, this is an apricot, so about 30 inches to an outward facing bud. Okay, yeah, so this one, these two are too close together. We don't need two branches right on top of each other. So that one's going bye-bye. Nice clean cut at the base of that branch. So now I'm just gonna even out the rest of these limbs. All right, we're gonna call this one good. This is the last of the apricots. We're gonna move on. Now real quick, I'll just show you. So that's the last apricot I just did. And if we come over here, see the middle one, that's kind of similar to the one I just showed you, but this one I left a lot more on. So this is cool, we can compare the two. We'll see how they do versus each other. All right, so this is the 20th century Asian pear. Already kind of did this one a little. This one never got very tall. It's maybe 3 feet to here. But anyways, we've got a central open kind of center right here and stuff branching out. So I'm gonna take these lower ones and just remove them. And that's it for this one. Hopefully this will come out, go up like that. And so this is a plum, and this one's already done. I didn't have to do much on it, but you see that's got an open center, nothing's growing in. So yeah, that one's done. Okay, so now we're over to the cherries. This has an open center, which I like. So I don't have to do too much here. I'm just gonna take everything here down a little bit so that it will branch out and away from the center. So we're gonna find an outward facing bud and cut. So here we go. Outward facing here, cut right above there. They're gone. There's one here. There. And let's go one more about, keep it even here. So that's that. This may come off later at some point. I don't know, we'll just see. We're gonna go with it there. And yes, in between each one of these, I am wiping these down with alcohol. It's very important. You know, one thing I just want to touch on is this is something you want to take your time and do. Don't rush it. The only thing I don't like about this is how tall it is. I'm over 6 feet, and so this is like right at 6 feet already. So that's too tall. We want it to go out a little wider, not straight up. So I'm gonna find outward facing buds and make cuts. All right, well, I think that's good. Oops, forgot this one, but I'll just leave that one alone. Yep, gonna call that good. So now we're over to the nectarines. I've already done a little bit on this one, but I'll do some more. So this is growing across, so I'm gonna get rid of that. This is growing vertical. This is growing vertical, so this is going. Oh, shoot. There we go. Okay, another nectarine. This one's staked because this got gopher damage and then it got blown over. So this has way too much up top. And just in general, remember the reason we're pruning these young trees is to dictate the size of them. I want my trees 6 to 8 feet tall at the most. So we're taking size off them to dictate how big they're gonna get. So we've got this growing in the middle of the tree. Don't need that. As far as the middle is pretty open now and good. We're just gonna take things back as far as size. So let's start here. There. And remember, it will grow back. I guarantee you. I'm gonna show you how much it will grow in just a few months here. And remember, I'm not an expert here. I'm just the guy showing you how I'm doing mine. Watch a lot of videos and read a lot of articles before you do yours. Okay, we're gonna call that good. This one has weak roots, so hopefully it'll live, but it does have green bark, so I think it's still alive. So we just need those roots to regrow. You don't want too much up top. You want the bottom and the top to be equal. Now we're over to the apples. This one's already done. This one got knocked over by, again, gophers plus wind combo equals knocked over tree. And this is an apple, so you know, there's different ways to prune everything, but this one has a center scaffolding. So at this point, I'm just leaving that. And I'm not trying to get the vase or goblet formation. But anyways, yeah, this one's already been done. So I'm just leaving this as is, but here's what it looks like. All right, so here's another apple. This one doesn't really have that same central leader as the one I just showed you. This does have more of the vase. The cool thing about trees, it's kind of like a puzzle, really. You have to sit there and decide, you know, well, okay, how do I get it to go where I want it to go? And if I cut there, what's that going to happen? It's pretty cool. I already made 2 cuts on this last week, or earlier in the week it was. It was like this guy was really long, and where was this? This was right here. It was just getting in the way, I think, something like that. But anyways, I'm gonna make just a couple of small cuts just to get some growth invigorated, but I don't know that I'm gonna take off any branches yet. I kind of want to see what it's gonna do. These might cross here, but at this point in time, let's see, if I cut here, this will grow away, so I'm gonna just do that. But I'm gonna leave all these main branches, see how they grow, and then come back later and see who gets to stay and who gets to go. So cutting that so that that will go out, this will go out, same thing over here. So that's done, not too much off this. I just kind of telling it where I want it to grow, and we'll move on. All right, next over here's a nectarine tree, and I'm actually calling this one good as is. I already did this one earlier in the week, and it has a very nice open center and even growth, so I'm calling this one good. All right, so here's another nectarine, and I really have 2 choices here. One, take this whole top off to get a central, you know, what we've been saying again and again, a goblet, you know, vase, or I can do it like it is existing as a hybrid. It's has that plus a leader up here that breaks off. The thing is, I'm really tempted to leave this one and just do a little bit of evening out as kind of a control to see what it looks like, because we've already done the other 2 kind of with that same one with where they're top low. But then the only thing is the aesthetics of the orchard. You know, you kind of want them all to be about the same height, kind of same general shape. If I let this one go 8 to 10 feet tall, it might look kind of weird next to others that are 6 to 8. So I don't know, that's just one thing to think about. I really thought hard and I decided that I'm just gonna send it and take this off and see what happens. So here we go. Off with his head. Okay, so now I'm just gonna even up the rest of it. That's it for this. All right, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. You've made it through the pruning. This is the other apple tree, and it has a parasite on it, so I'm not gonna touch it right now. I'm gonna put that in a separate video. And then here's the new aprium. So this is just a stick, as you saw in the aprium video planting. It's about 30 to 34 inches at most. Doing this lets you shape the tree from the start. So these growth buds will come out how you want it to. You're not stuck with what you got when it came. So if I would have done this on the other trees when I first got them, I wouldn't have to go back and make these hard decisions. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this one works out, because I have really a great feeling about it. I think it's gonna work out great. And then here's the almond tree, which is done. I already finished this one earlier in the week. So, you know, just opened it up, cleaned things up, and yep, that's it. So Thanks for joining along. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, share the video with friends, and you can also hit the bell to get you an email every time we upload a video. Thanks a lot. See you soon.